Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. First of all, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us mercies and blessing today. So we, alhamdulillah, can meet again in the best of health and iman. Secondly, may salawat and salam always be delivered to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also his companion and his ummah. Thirdly, we would like to express our sincere thanks and extend appreciations to my beloved senior friends, guru, and also speakers today. Associate Professor Dr. Turkan Ali Abdul Manab. Assalamualaikum, Doctor. How are you?
Waalaikum salam. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, Dr. Turkan and all participants. We meet again on the series of guest lectures today, organized by International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance, Department of Economics, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah, Yogyakarta. Dr. Turkan and other participants, before we start, let me just please to inform several important things regarding with these events. These events called International Training for Young Islamic Economic Leaders, or ITILs. So basically this program has been organized since 2015. So alhamdulillah, right now we have been in the 4th ITILs. That basically this program was initiated by our senior Dr. Turkan, Alham Dr. Masyudi Mukarrabin. So I continuing his legacy, yeah, to further promote and continue this good and great events. So for your information, Dr. Turkan, that this events basically is joined by around 120 participants from 5 countries and 23 various universities around the world, including Malaysia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, and also Bahrain. But this program basically was divided into 4 separated courses. So we have research methodology course, we have environmental economics, labor economics, and bank and non-bank financial institutions. So our participants are separated into 4 courses, and for this course called bank and non-bank financial institution, we have around 20 to 25 active participants. So during the program, alhamdulillah, Dr. Turkan, the participant has gone through so many academic activities through our online learning management system. So we have started our program since 19th of July. So almost 1 month. So inshallah, 2 days after tomorrow, we will go to the closing ceremony. And during the program, basically the participant has already conducted so many assignments, presentations, public lectures, and also quizzes that focuses on the bank and non-bank financial institutions, including central banks, Financial Service Authority, Financial System Stability, Islamic Bank, Professional Bank, Islamic Social Finance, and many other institutions that related with the bank and non-banks. Alhamdulillah, today you are with us in order to sharpen and strengthen the understanding of the assisting participants by looking at the overview at the global level about the development of Islamic finance. Dear participants, before I hand over the session to Dr. Turkan, I'm pleased to announce to you that Dr. Turkan basically is the prominent speakers that right now is the senior researchers at the Islamic Development Bank in Jeddah. And basically Dr. Turkan previously students in economics from International Islamic University, Malaysia, around maybe 10 years ago. And he is my senior, my respected friends, and also the researchers that the research and publication has been so much. You can just click his name and you can find so many intellectual discourse and writing under his names. And his focus area is macroeconomics, Islamic banking and finance, international finance, and many aspects related with the finance and banking. So we are glad and humbled to have him today that has spent his time from Jeddah, 5 hours earlier than Indonesia or Malaysia. So Dr. Turkan, I give you the floor for around maybe maximum 1 hour. If you can less than 1 hour, is up to you. And later on, we will have Q&A sessions and sharing discussion with our young future leaders.
Okay.
Dr. Turkan, yours, please.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh to all these participants and my brother and dear friend Dr. Dimas. And of course, this is my great pleasure to speak with the young scholars, young entrepreneurs, and beloved students through this forum. And Alhamdulillah, and give me the chance and to share some of our knowledge or some of our statistics with my students. I think I'm so happy. Yes, the time here in Jeddah is what, just after Subuh. Okay, just after Subuh. Alhamdulillah, so because I'm so excited to participate in this program, I wake up too early this morning, around 3 o'clock. Then I find it's too early. Then I just want to have some snaps. I almost miss my Subuh. Alhamdulillah, again, I got up early. So, inshallah, so I hope with about 40 minutes or maybe about 50 minutes, I just want to go through the Islamic finance development situation in the global perspective. And I have prepared some of slides. Can I show my screen to the student?
Yes, please, doctor.
Yes.
You have been the co-host. You can share.
Yes, let me share my screen. Okay, my screen is where is it? This one.
Yes, we can see, doctor.
Is this my screen? Okay, sorry.
Yes.
How to in well, sorry. Right. What happened? Sorry, yeah, there's some little bit miss. Why I can't see my own screen?
Yes, we can see yours.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, already. Great. Clearly. Very clear. Okay, done.
Okay.
Very clear, doctor. Yes.
Okay, because I was told to discuss on this global development of Islamic finance and a kind of overview. And in this 40 minutes, I try to speak about how much the Islamic finance was developed and practiced in the global perspective. So for that one, I would like to just give you some of the statistics, and then we discuss some of the issues. And also we have discussed what we can do and to overcome such kind of issues. First, I think what Islamic finance, and of course, those students in this panel are all well educated and they know what's Islamic finance and they know what's Islamic finance principle or what other Sharia laws governing the Islamic finance. Is my voice clear? Because I could not hear my voice actually. Dr. Dimas, is my voice clear? Hello?
Yes, of course.
Oh, yes, okay. Because I could not hear my voice, so I'm afraid. Okay. Islamic finance from a very small player in this world, actually over the past 4 to 5 decades, is developed so fast, and in certain countries it become a dominant section of the financial system. And especially after the financial crisis in 2008, and the world, not only the Muslim countries and even the international world, they find what this Islamic finance have certain salient feature which can avoid the risk and also good to the society. So after that, the Islamic financial service industry grew more faster. And of course, there are many industry players join this program, and especially from the Western countries, and also from our Muslim member countries. And of course, during this process, we have developed so much regulatory frameworks which help the development of this industry. And of course, there are so many countries also what they have the will to sponsor, to develop this Islamic financial service system. And of course, during these years, due to this needs and demand, we have developed so much what Sharia compliant products and service which can meet the market demand. And as my background, just now Dr. Dimasi, I am from Islamic Development Bank. Let me just give you a little bit of this story behind this. Okay, we have 57 member countries in this bank. And unfortunately, not all our member countries actually practice Islamic finance. To be frank, okay, like Indonesia, Malaysia are actually among the pioneer countries who practice the Islamic finance. In fact, we have so many member countries only practice Islamic finance a few years ago, if not 10 years ago. Some of them only having the Islamic finance only a few years ago. So it means what? The Islamic finance, even we are Muslim countries, not necessarily means what? We are really keen to practice Islamic finance in many of our, not all, in some of our member countries. On the other hand, there are many non-Muslim countries which is not member of us, the Islamic Development Bank. They actually are very keen to practice and develop Islamic finance because they know the potential of the Islamic finance in meeting the financial services and also to meet the market demand for Sharia compliant products and service. And because we know the Islamic finance, they are asset-based and they must follow the Sharia law. They have to avoid gharar, gambling, all kind of illegal activities to be practiced, which this is what? Very friendly to the society and friendly to the development of society and what keeps the good order of the economic system. And this is fair to themselves and fair to others. So this kind of discipline actually what? Is very good to the development of the economies, not only the economies, but also what? Development of the society as a whole. Okay, as a whole. Actually, I don't want to discuss more on this because just notice, Dimasi, over the past 6 months, you have gone through so many courses. I think what? The only thing I want to mention here is what? In Islamic finance, profit sharing is what? The key. The profit sharing is the key. We are not allowed to practice riba. Riba, right? As we mentioned, what we do not allow to the riba. So when we're talking about the profit sharing, it means what? We are rejecting the zero-sum games. Because Islam, they permit trade, they do not allow riba. All right. So why we need the profit sharing or trade? Because all the transactions in Islamic finance or Islamic economies, we have to make sure this is efficient, and this is what must create something good to the society and fair to both parties. Okay, both parties. If in this transaction, if one party fail or loss, another party win, it means what? We call zero-sum games. So we do not want one person to benefit on the expense of someone else loss. So riba actually what? This the more actually what more to the zero-sum games, because in the riba system, when someone gain, it means another guy is lost. Okay, in the fees is a loss. Only the trade actually what? We are not only have one person benefit, we also make another person what? Benefit. If loss, both parties have to bear the loss. If the win, both parties have to share the profit. So that's we call what? We encourage the trading, we discourage riba. Riba. So that's why we call what? This Islamic finance are based on the asset. Okay, we avoid all kind of gharar. Okay, we do not predetermine the return, but we predetermine the what? Profit sharing ratio. So it means what? We share the risk, we share the what we call the profit. Okay, so this is a very simple about the principle Islamic finance. And during the process of the Islamic finance over the past few decades, our scholars, our Sharia scholars, they have developed so many products, or especially the major instruments, because Islamic finance, to meet the market demand, you must have the product or service to meet the demand. Okay, demand. So we have so much what products available in the market, from ijara, okay, istisna, mudaraba, murabaha, or sukuk. This is what a few sample I just list here, just for you to have a look. Actually, I'm not going to discuss more on this, because what I see during the process of Islamic finance, we are luckily having so much what product and service what was developed to meet the market demand. Okay, market demand. Actually, what for Sharia compliant what market demand. Okay, over the years, Islamic finance actually what having grew very fast compared to conventional finance. We grew very fast. For example, between the 2014 to 2019, the Islamic finance market having grew at speed of what 7.8%. But of course, before that, they also developed very fast. But only recent a few years, the speed getting a little bit slow. Before that is almost 10%. Okay, 10%. And of course, why this Islamic finance development so fast? Because what the Islamic finance not only talking about what loan to the customer, but they are all on the what more on the investment in the halal sectors, infrastructures, especially in the what capital market, particularly sukuk market. Okay, sukuk market, because over the past few years, the sukuk market is one of the what very fast growing sector of Islamic finance. Actually, they have even they are only 90% of this Islamic finance sector, but they have grown very fast. Okay, very fast. So, for example, what only in last year, 2019, the Islamic finance sector actually what grew by almost 15%, 14.4%, especially the sukuk faster. Later I'm going to discuss in details why the sukuk growing so fast in the past few years. Okay, but still we have to know the GCC and the Southeast Asia, especially what Malaysia, Indonesia, is the most important and most fast speeding countries market actually in terms of Islamic finance. Okay, of the Islamic finance system, Islamic banking, from the very beginning until now, still the dominant sector of the Islamic finance, which is still account what almost 70%. Initially, maybe they account about 80% above, but now the percentage dropping, but still the dominant section of the Islamic finance. Okay. Let's see, give examples. Okay. Islamic finance industry, we follow different business models. Okay, different business. We have 3 different models. One is what? Segregate models. It means in these countries, conventional bank is conventional bank, Islam bank, Islam bank. They are not allowed to what? Mix. There are also some countries, they have Islamic banks, but conventional banks, they can have Islamic windows. Okay, Islamic windows. Like in Saudi, Bangladesh, UAE, we have pure Islamic banks, a full-fledged Islamic bank. We also have non-Islamic bank, but they offer Islamic service through Islamic windows. We also have some countries like Turkey, Indonesia, Qatar. They are what? Very different. Islamic bank, they are not allowed to do. Non-Islamic bank not allowed to do what? Islamic finance practice. We also have like Oman. They have hybrid model. What? They have Islamic banks, but they also have commercial bank. But they have the branch. They are not allowed to have windows because it's illegal to have windows. They only must have what? Branch to deal with Islamic banks. Okay, Islamic banks. I think this is the reason we know. Okay, many of us know, because especially when we have Islamic windows, is very very difficult to monitor, to supervise whether those transactions are really Islamic or not Islamic. And also what? Certain country, because normally when our Muslim customer, when they put the money in the Islamic bank, normally we are not asking to what to have an interest, okay, unless you are put for the investment purpose. So in certain countries, they not allow the non-Islamic bank to accept Islamic deposit or Islamic financing. That's why they have a separate models. Okay. Okay, this is what a picture about the Islamic finance asset from the 2014 to 2019. You can see the blue color is what Islamic banking is still the dominant, and the second one is what the red color is what sukuk, we call what sukuk outstanding. Okay, sukuk outstanding. You can see sukuk still what increasing since last year. Okay, last year. Okay, this is what another picture to describe how the Islamic finance sector is growing. You can see here we have Islamic banking, sukuk, other Islamic financial institutions, Islamic fund, takaful. Still what I put here the size, share of this Islamic financial asset, and number of institutions, and number of what countries involved. There are 74 countries. They have Islamic banking with 526 banks around the world. And we also have 25 countries, they issue the sukuk, and 55 countries, they have microfinance, investment, Islamic. Guys, we also have 47 countries, they have takaful. Takaful actually only around 2% of the whole Islamic financial sectors. Okay, Islamic financial sectors. So it is takaful still very, very small, and Islamic fund also only 5%. So the major portion of our Islamic finance asset actually still concentrated on Islamic banking and capital market. Okay, so it means there is a huge potential actually for the Islamic finance industry to grow, because given this Islamic fund, takaful, and other Islamic financial institution only around 12%, it means they are still long way to go. Okay, long way to go. Okay, so this is top countries in Islamic finance assets. Okay, we have number 1 Iran, of course, Saudi Arabia second, Malaysia, UAE, Qatar, Indonesia, Bahrain, Turkey, and others. Okay. So these 10 countries actually what? The major Islamic finance developing countries, okay, who are practicing Islamic finance. But we have 57 member countries under Islamic Development Bank. It is we have so many countries still yet to practice and utilize the potential of Islamic finance. Okay, finance. You can see the Indonesia is among the most fast growing country in terms of Islamic finance. Okay, Islamic finance. And Iran, Saudi, and Malaysia taking the share of almost 66% of the total asset in 2019. Okay, 2019. But the Iran, for Bahrain, okay, Bahrain, they actually what? In terms of the percentage, yes, yeah, high. For example, when we're talking about how much the Islamic finance developing, we normally have certain of indicator. For example, the Islamic asset to the ratio of GDP. You can see Bahrain is the highest. It means what? The Islamic financial asset is 124% of the GDP. Malaysia 53, Iran 47, Kuwait 43, Qatar 40. But like Indonesia, because still quite small. This is very small yet. Okay, in terms of region, okay, GCC about 43% or 44%. Non-GCC means what? Like Turkey, Egypt, Lebanon. This is we call non-GCC countries. They about 23%. Indonesia, Malaysia around 26%, and Europe and other other countries very small percentage. It means what? Islamic finance still very concentrated in certain areas. Okay, and Malaysia and Indonesia actually was very active in promoting the Islamic finance instruments and roll out a number of regulation supports the landscapes. So the potential, as a hope, the main driver of Islamic finance still is what? In GCC and Malaysia and Indonesia. Of course, in the development of the Islamic finance, we must have certain architecture to support, to regulate, to guide, to lead this development Islamic finance. So we have a very good industry architecture from ISDB, the Islamic Development Bank. We have OIC FIC Academy. We also have AOFI. We all have SIBAFI. We have IIFM. We all IFSP. As you can see from the figure, I just put a timeline. You can see from 75 until now, 2010. After 2010, there's no so much seen coming. So I just put a few only. Okay, so those organizations actually is very instrumental and very supportive for the development of Islamic finance. Without this architecture, we be not able to have a very sophisticated, well-balanced development Islamic finance industry. Okay, industry. Of course, to have the good functioning Islamic finance, we must have some ecosystem. Okay, basically we have the 6 components of the system is important. Okay, we have legal and Sharia framework. They must be there. We also have certain law to guide the banks. We must have some regulation. We also have to somewhat capital market. And the most important, again, the public awareness. And of course, the central banks, the plea of last resort must be there. Okay, so this is the 6 pillars for a comprehensive ecosystem. Of the 57 member countries, not all countries have this ecosystem yet. like Indonesia, Malaysia, GCC countries, they have this ecosystem. That's why the Islamic finance industry are developing fast and smoothly, because they have the ecosystem to support the development. So if any countries want to develop Islamic finance, they must have established the ecosystem. Okay, ecosystem. And of course, we just mentioned, okay, that for Islamic finance to grow, we must have what? Certain drivers. Okay, certain drivers. For the past few years, due to the price of oil in GCC, they have so much what? Liquidity, cash. So this one actually what? Promote in certain sense the development Islamic finance. Okay, without the oil price, without the what? The money created from the oil, it will actually what? Hinder the development Islamic finance. And we also have what? So many countries, they really keen to support the Islamic finance. That's why they come out with what? A kind of a regulatory to push the development Islamic finance. And also what? Due to the special structure of the Islamic finance products. Okay. So if you want to have level play with the conventional finance, we must make certain adjustment on the tax. Okay, on certain of what? Regulation. That's why the tax support, regulatory support is very fundamental for the Islamic finance to what we call develop, to grow. Okay, and also there also was the what? The capital market is very important in terms of what? Pushing the Islamic finance to grow, because now we have what? Green investment, SRI investment, infrastructure investment. All actually we need what? Huge amount of money allocation, capital allocation. How to do it? The only way is what? Through the capital market. For Islamic, we have to use a sukuk market to reallocate the resources. That's why for the past few years, sukuk market is one of the very fast what? Developing sector of Islamic finance. And also what? Our customer, after our Muslim brothers, sisters, and they are very keen to follow the Sharia. They really want the Sharia compliant products or service. So this also what? Also demand pool, we call what? Pooling the industry to develop. Okay, develop. And also what? Non-Muslim countries, they also find what? Islamic finance is another vital way to what? To for the ethical investment. So there are so many what we call people who are rich and they have a lot of fun. They are looking for some environmental friendly investment, ethical investment. They find the Islamic finance is what? One good way to make sure the money is invested in the environment friendly green investment. That's why the Islamic finance, they are also what? Attracting more investment from the non-Islamic countries for green SRI investment. So this also pushed the what? Development of what? Islamic finance. And also, of course, the crisis which happened in 2018, 2008, 97, and plus what? This Euro crisis. This all actually what? Pushed the people to think the Islamic finance as a safer alternative. So this all actually what? Helped the development of Islamic finance. Okay, finance. And of course, we have certain issues we are going to discuss after we look at some of the statistics. Okay, statistics. Because just now we mentioned, okay, Islamic finance market, they have few what? Sectors. Okay, sectors. Let's just give you a few statistics. In fact, all the graph, all the what? I really spent some time on to make sure the graph is clear and sharp. Okay, and too sharp. Okay, so the first one actually what? Islamic finance. Okay, Islamic banking. And the Islamic banking is what? Grew the most dominant, fast growing sector of what? Our Islamic finance industry. And this Islamic banking is what? Normally the not only in the Muslim countries, but also what? In non-Muslim countries developing. Okay. So for example, from Mozambique to Suriname in this, and to what? Bangladesh, to Pakistan, from Hong Kong to maybe what? To Russia. You can see what? There are Islamic banks. Okay, Islamic. If not Islamic banks, at least you have Islamic windows. Windows. To provide the service and products to market, to meet the some of demand. And of course, different countries, a different region of the world, even we are Muslim countries, we have certain views are different. Okay, different. Even we have certain different views, but what? The development of Islamic banking is what? As non-stoppable. Okay, for example, what about in terms of interpretation of Sharia law, the Middle East, we call GCC, and Malaysia, normally they have certain difference, but this difference does not stop us in developing the Islamic banking. Okay, but now the OFI standards actually become a unified rules to guide the Islamic banking in different areas. And I'm not saying that what every country they are following this standard, but in certain time what they use this standard as what? To agree on the disagree. Okay. Okay, you can see here Islamic banking assets from 2014 to 2019, from 1.446 billion US dollar now become almost what? $2 trillion Islamic banking asset. Okay, so the Islamic banking asset from 73% in 2014 now become around what? 69% of the total Islamic finance asset. Okay, the growth or development Islamic finance normally due to what? The GCC. Okay, GCC. Because in GCC we have what? Major what we call large Islamic banks actually what? All actually in GCC area, GCC area. And those countries, they are very keen to develop this one. And this public also, they are demanding for this. Okay, that's why the Islamic banking asset grew very fast. You can see here, Saudi Arabia is what? They have largest Islamic banking asset. Okay, banking asset. And next, again, Kuwait. Number 3 is Malaysia, Qatar, then UAE, Bahrain, Oman. Okay, so the GCC actually what? If you put all together, they account about 45% of the total Islamic banking asset globally. Okay, globally. Malaysia is one of the what? Model player, because what? Malaysia, not the public, the demand for this Islamic banking, but the country itself, they have strong will to develop Islamic banking. So that's why they have developed a comprehensive framework to make sure that Islamic banking develop in a smooth way. Okay, in a smooth way. That's why we see what? The Malaysia, you can see among this what? This highest what asset, Malaysia is still number 3. And Malaysia. Alhamdulillah, Indonesia is on the way. Indonesia is a big, vast country. Inshallah, I can see in the very short future, Indonesia going to be in this list. Okay, inshallah. And of course, you can see here, share of Islamic bank asset to total bank asset, because all those countries actually we have non-Islamic, we have conventional and what Islamic banking for us. You can see here, Saudi Arabia, almost 50% of the what asset is actually what Islamic bank asset in ratio to the total banking asset. Okay, it makes Saudi is the highest. Then Kuwait, Malaysia 30%, Oman is about 14%. Okay, so from here we can see how important is the Islamic banking in our certain what Muslim countries. Like Indonesia is around what 5%, if I'm not wrong. Okay, 5%. Still what long way to go, but inshallah it could be very soon. Okay. Okay, now let's see some of the largest Islamic banks in GCC. Okay, you can see Al-Rajihi is largest in Saudi, but also largest in the world. Okay, this is a we have 526 Islamic banks across the globe as of 2019. Okay, Malaysia, Saudi, UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait are the largest market in terms of Islamic bank assets. Okay, because of these four countries asset actually what account 79% of the what combined asset of 100 largest Islam banks, and GCC account 62%. If it bring out the Malaysia, then we find what 62% of the what we call the combined asset is what 62% of the 100 largest Islam bank in 2019. I'm going to discuss in details because this just want to give our young students that what how this is by these statistics. And out of the outside the GCC, we also can see what the largest bank. Okay, we can see what Malaysia actually what taking the lead. Only Bangladesh having the number third. Okay, Malaysia actually account 22%, almost 23% what total asset of 100 largest Islam bank in 2019. Malaysia they have what 16 banks. Of the 16 banks, what 6 of them were among the what top 20. Indonesia have 13 banks among the top 100, but only account 2.4% of aggregate asset. It means what the Islamic bank in Indonesia still have to work hard. Okay, work hard and work smart, inshallah. So this is what you can see some of the deposit in terms of what the Islamic banking deposit as the ratio of total deposit. You see Saudi Arabia again leads the market because what almost 80% of the deposit actually Islamic banking deposit. Okay, Islamic deposit. So Saudi Arabia still taking the lead. In terms of financing, more than 80% of financing also what Islamic financing in sorry this is wrong because when I'm making this what graph I supposed to be financing. Okay, financing. Okay, this is talking about what not only Saudi, but we are talking more countries. Okay, in Saudi, Kuwait, Malaysia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, and what Oman. You can see the upper one is about what growth, the growth of Islamic bank asset. The lower part actually what the ratio between the conventional and what and Islamic. Okay, Islamic. So that's something about what Islamic banking. Now let's discuss a little bit on the Islamic capital market. In this one, actually, what we are nothing to discuss but on the sukuk. Okay, we are discuss about sukuk because the flagship product in the Islamic capital market actually what sukuk. Okay, this is the most fast growing sector of Islamic finance industry. Okay, and one of the reasons for the development Islamic the sukuk actually what is the financial crisis. Okay, this one actually what highlighted the shallow flows of the conventional system, and they push the investor to consider sukuk as a what viable financial route. Additionally, what because due to the what new demand, okay, of the years the market has grown in terms of investor basis. Okay, initially the sukuk only limit to the financial institution, but now takaful sectors, aircraft financing, they're all actually what trying to tap the market for different purposes such as project financing, infrastructure, and now many banks need the B3 compliant sukuk, fintech sukuk, blockchain sukuk, green sukuk, SRI sukuk. It's all actually what they are looking for the sukuk. That's why this push the sukuk market developed so fast over the past few years. You can see from this what from this chart. Okay, from this chart, there are 12%, 5% increase from 2014 to 2019. Okay, 2019. Okay, this is regarding what the entry status of sukuk, because normally what the sukuk they have sovereign sukuk, corporate sukuk, financial institute sukuk, and what quasi sovereign sukuk. Okay, you can see here. Of the sukuk outstanding, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia together account for 77.5%. Okay, sukuk outstanding. Because for the past 3 to 4 years, Indonesia is very active in what issuing the sukuk. That's why Indonesia now come up very fast. Okay, because actually as of 2019 there were 3,420 sukuk outstanding globally, and Malaysia accounts the highest with 2,576 sukuk outstanding, followed by Indonesia 288 and Saudi Arabia 110. Okay, 110. So but from here you can see what most of the sukuk they are sovereign sukuk, all quasi sovereign sukuk. This means what the investor still is thinking what the safety is very important, because sovereign means what this guaranteed by the government. Of course, that's why easy to be what issued. Okay, issued. Corporate sukuk, I see domestically yes quite high, but internationally what sorry, this is not internal, this is international. 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 So corporate sukuk, domestic sukuk is 26%, internationally 19%. So this is what domestic what you got insurance and what internal insurance after few years. So this one is what we call what international insurance, and this blue color is domestic. You can see domestic actually what growing very fast in terms of what international not so fast, but still growing. I'm sorry because when I preparing this one, I didn't find the 2021 IIFR report. But last night when I checked in again, I found they already released the 2021 what report. So I should have figure for 2020, but I think it's too late. So I see no need. Okay, no need to create a new what graph again. Okay. So this is talking about this this graph. I'm not going to discuss too much on this because you can see here what actually in 2016, 2015, the sukuk actually what not really increase, not very high, because due to what some of the oil prices factor, which what the sukuk is not active. And the last 2018 also what sukuk is not really fast, but only from since last year 2019 and 2020 the sukuk issuance getting what very fast, especially in the last year. We have so many what 20 sukuk what issued because due to the pandemic, many countries they need what to finance a deficit, to finance the pandemic related projects. That's why the sukuk in 2019 is what is really hot. Okay, this is what by region. You can see still what Asia and the Far East. It means Malaysia, Indonesia. The blue color is actually what talking about Asia and the Far East. Initially, Alamat. Yes. Okay, you can see what the Malaysia, Indonesia, still what they are the highest dominant what issue they are the dominant in terms of what insurance scope. And second what is what GCC, but other part of the world what still very small. Okay, small. So Malaysia still what accounts 75% of the what corporate scope insurance. GCC is the second largest. Among the GCC, Saudi Arabia is what leading. Okay, leading in terms of scope insurance. Okay, so this is talking about what the Saudi Arabia and GCC is the second largest. And for example, Saudi Arabia leads the GCC region by result. Almost 48% of the sukuk actually what from Saudi Arabia. Okay, Saudi Arabia. And the good part of the GCC sukuk is what most of the investors actually come from non-GCC area. They are from Western countries. Okay, countries. This shows what the Western countries have higher confidence to this sukuk in terms of from the GCC area. Okay, and also what the increased uptake by the international investor not only reflect the prevailing supply demand imbalance because there is always higher demand than the insurance, and also what due to the low interest environment because of the last years in many countries was the interest rate become very low. In certain area actually become zero, or if not zero is 0 point something. So but sukuk gives them a higher return. That's why the international investor they try to come to the what GCC to invest for sukuk in the anticipation of a higher return. Okay, this is about what how the sovereign corporate of the few years and what in terms of international and domestic. You can see here again. Okay, sovereign sukuk still dominate in international and also what domestic insurance. All this actually what they are talking about the safety. Okay, safety. This is actually what by the structure. Okay, by the structure. Sukuk in the very beginning was they are more on the murabaha, but now wakala become what dominant. Okay, dominant. It means that this means what this investor they are more on the what profit sharing rather than the loan kind of what sukuk. Okay, loan kind of sukuk. Why is this one like this? Okay, this is what sukuk outstanding, and this is what I'm sorry, this is a sorry, I supposed to delete this slide because it's too small. I actually put in other part already. Okay, okay, so since last 2 years sukuk actually become what? Very active. As I just mentioned, what? The reason is what? Not only because Islamic, and also because what? The environmental concerns and the green sukuk, and also what? SRI initiative. So making the sukuk become what? Very important. Okay, you can see what? In 2014, the Malaysia issues a three sukuk framework. And in 2016, Malaysia introduced what? Tax incentive for SRA sukuk. And 2017, Malaysia, in the historically of what issued the green sukuk first time. Okay, first time. And 2018, Malaysia introduced what? Tax incentive for SRA funds again. Indonesia launched its what? First green sukuk framework. Okay, green sukuk. And of course, government Indonesia also issued what? First sovereign green sukuk. Malaysia issued corporate green sukuk. And then later what? Because so many countries actually what? They follow the fashion in 2019, 2020 what? There are many sukuks actually what? Whether it's green or SRI. So you can see what? 2019, 2020 what? There are more sukuk outstanding and more sukuk issuance. Okay. So that's about what we call sukuk. Now let's discuss a little bit on the funds. Okay, the funds also what very important sector of Islamic finance. Even they are only 5% of the Islamic finance industry, but this is what also very growing industry. Only in 2018 this is become very quiet, but 2019, 2020 this grew up again. They pick up. Okay, pick up. Actually the lion's share of the Islamic fund asset actually still in from equity, money market, and what? Commodity market. Okay, commodity market. Why? Because what? These three sector this is a tangible, and also what? They give the higher return to the investors. Okay, to investors. Again, in terms of the region, GCC and Malaysia and what Indonesia, again what is a dominant in terms of what this Islamic funds. Okay, Islamic funds. For example, in 2019, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, and Iran together account for 82% of the Islamic fund, around what? 114 billion. Okay, 114 billion. So in the Islamic fund, another major portion is what? The equity market. Okay, equity market funds. But initially what? The equity market fund is what? Not active. Because what? Due to the performance, equity market not very fun. Okay, not for lack of the investment opportunities, and what's our equity stock market not performing well. Okay, but again, this financial crisis in 2008, 2009, making the what? Equity market as one of the important option for the Islamic funds. Okay, that's why since then, the Islamic fund, equity fund become what? Very active. You can see from this curve. Okay, from this curve. One is what? S&P Global 1,200. Another one is what? S&P Global 1,200 was Sharia. Okay. The upper one is what? The Sharia compliant. Next one is what? Conventional. Conventional, you can see. This Sharia one is what? Outperform the conventional for the past few years. Okay, few years. In terms of what? For example, what? Between 2015 to 2020, the conventional global grew only at 95%, but Islamic grew by 36%. Okay. In last year, you see here is a drop, am I right? The conventional drop 32%, but Islamic only dropped about 28%. So it means what? The conventional Islamic Sharia compliant Islamic fund, they are perform well. Okay, perform. The reason why the Islamic, well, because what? You can see the component of the different index. For the Islamic, we have 33% is what? Is IT, 70% is health, 12% what? Industry. So it means what? In the Islamic Sharia, we are more on the IT and health, which is what? Very relevant to the society. But in the conventional world, you can see what? The financial asset is what? 13.3%, where in Islamic only what? 1%. Okay, 1%. So how you allocate is very important in terms of what? In terms of performance. Okay, performance. Let's see about the takaful, another important sector of Islamic finance. Takaful actually what? Is very important for Islamic finance. Unfortunately, this sector only accounts for 2% of Islamic financial industry. Still, the core market are Malaysia, Indonesia, and Saudi Arabia, and what? UAE. Okay, UAE. For example, in the last year, we have 51 billion takaful asset. Last year only grew by 10%. We also have 336 takaful operators in the world. But still the market is very slow. Last year, Turkey is what? It becomes a champion because what? Turkey is a fast growing market in terms of takaful. Okay, takaful. You can see here, Saudi Arabia in terms of asset, in number of players, Iran, Malaysia, Indonesia. Okay, Indonesia have a highest player, about 52 operators, but in terms of asset, only 3 billion. It means what? Still very low. Okay, GCC account 41%. Takaful what? Asset. Because GCC they have a growing about Muslim population. Indonesia actually we have a highest number of population of Muslim, but asset still what? Small, because what? This still what we need to develop. Okay, develop. Unfortunately, what 2018? Okay, 2018. This is what the takaful is not perform well. Not perform well because what? As we know, GCC is what? Major countries, major areas. Because in GCC area in 2018 they have so-called what? Saudinization. What means Saudinization? They are trying to what? Replace the workers for local citizens. That's why a lot of what? Expatriates, foreign workers, what? They have to leave these countries. So making the what? Insurance or takaful less. But in 2019, they are increasing. Why? Because what? GCC area, they have compulsory what? Insurance. Everybody, every worker, whether you are working or your family members, you're a foreigner or local, you must what? Have health insurance. So by this way, they push the what? The takaful in United what? Increase. Okay, increase. But still what? Malaysia remains the regional leader. Okay, because what? The government still plays a what? Very, very what? Important role in developing the takaful. And also what? The digital platform, the online platform also helped. Okay, the what we call takaful increase developing faster. We call what? InsurTech. Okay, this is what? Insurance technology. We have what? This for example, in Malaysia based Wakaf use blockchain technology to direct Wakaf funds towards providing affordable takaful products. And now we are using what? In the Wakaf, we use blockchain. In Zakat, they also use what? Blockchain. So this all actually what? Helping the takaful what? Increase. Okay, especially what? InsurTech. Okay, InsurTech. Actually, this actually helped. For example, what? Because using the InsurTech, they are not only making the more effective, efficient, and also what? Very low cost. Okay, and also what? They can serve more people. Even the we are having the pandemic, corona pandemic, but using the online system, using the system, what we still can what make the service available to many of our customers. Okay. Another one is other financial institutions. This one I just want to what show you a few figures. I think the time become so you can see here. This also very small, only 5% of the Islamic financial industry, but this is growing very fast. Okay, this one growing very fast. Of this fund, we have 288 investment firms, 125 financing companies. So what is OIFI? Actually, well, this is actually talking about not following the Islamic banking or takaful operator. This is investing firms, financing firms, mortgage firms, leasing, and also what? Microfinance institutions. This one all we are put in the OIFIC, okay? OIFIS, OIFS. Okay, so this is what some of the, you can see from here, investing firm having the highest, okay, the asset, following by financing, but others are very small, okay, small. But the top countries still what? Malaysia, Iran, Saudi still is what? The top 3 market in terms of OIFI. Okay, they are counting about 72% of these assets. Okay. With this, we have discussed about the different components of Islamic finance. From here, you can see, as I mentioned, the picture looks very nice, very beautiful, but the reality actually what? Is not really fantastic, because the Islamic finance industry are very focused on a few areas or a few countries. Yet we have 57 member countries. We also have what? Countries like India, Indonesia, we have a large population of Muslim, but Islamic finance still what? Not up to that requirement yet. So we still have what? Long way to go for develop the Islamic finance. IDB, Islamic Development Bank, actually what? Is very keen in developing, in helping our member countries to develop Islamic finance industry through different approach, through different what? Ways. Let me just give you example here. Okay, for example, what? I think most of you know the CIS countries. Okay, CIS countries. They have Kazakhstan, they have Tajikistan, they have Uzbekistan, they have Turkmenistan, they have Azerbaijan kind countries. All they also have what? Russia. We call them what? CIS. Because why we put Russia? Because what? They have a huge number of Muslims. Okay, about 10 to 15% of the population is what? Muslim. So they also need what? Islamic finance. So given these countries, okay, normally the IDB through different technical assistance, they help them develop the Islamic finance. Because those countries, they are very new and they are under the Russia for many years. So maybe they are not like Malaysia, Indonesia, they are very keen to this one. So IDB have to help. So that's why I just give you what? A few figures you can see. The Islamic development actually what? Funded those countries to what? To grow, to develop Islamic finance. Okay, so over the past few years, Islamic banking, what IDB actually what? Allocate a lot of fund to develop Islamic finance in these countries. Okay. I'm talking about this 1.9 billion US dollar they put in Kazakhstan for them to develop the law framework, training, kind of things. Okay, kind of things. Alhamdulillah, those countries now, at least the government, they accept the Islamic finance. Okay, these countries, and certain country, the government are very keen to develop Islamic finance. This is some about some examples. Okay, examples. However, in terms of Islamic finance, we have certain issues and some challenges, and we have to solve these issues. Okay. For example, in terms of issues, what the Islamic finance system actually what evaluating very fast, and we also have a very high competition from different countries. We also have so many untapped potentials. How to issue this one? We must have modernized and evolved Islamic finance system within the boundary of Sharia to meet customers' demands. So it means what we have to do: continuously review the regulatory frameworks or legal frameworks to suit the Sharia requirements, and also what we have to develop standardized practice. We also have to have a lot of research. Okay, because without research, we could not find the problem. We cannot tackle the issues. We have so much issues in the risk management, liquidity management, and stress testing kind of thing. We still need to research. We also have a problem or shortage of talents. We also have biggest problem people still feel that Islamic finance products not different from conventional Islam products. So this is a myth. We need to explain. We need to clarify to the customer. So we have so many issues, but those issues, from one perspective, they are problem. From another perspective, they are actually opportunities. So if we can solve this issue, it means what? It will help us to develop the Islamic finance more smoothly and maybe in more broad sense. So each challenge, you can, if you look at in different perspective, it becomes your opportunities. So that's why we need more time. And I was told that our class attendants are actually young scholars, leaders. So you are the very important person for the futures. If you are the leader plays a different roles. They are not the followers. If somebody is a follower made a mistake, only one person make mistake. If the leaders make mistake, it means you are group, you are making a lot of people to make mistakes. If you guide them rightly, you guide the public. If you guide them wrongly, it means you push the public into wrong direction. So as a leader, your task, your responsibility is very high. Am I right? You are very high. So good understanding, correct understanding, right direction of the Islamic finance industry is very important for the young leaders, young scholars at the moment. Okay, because in the future, many people have to follow you. Okay, you're going to guide a lot of people. So that's why, as I mentioned, we have some problems. For example, still many people see the transaction cost is very high in the Islamic bank. Okay, we don't have enough risk management instruments, techniques. We also have lack of Islamic monetary policies. Now, if you read the research, they have products, service, but we don't have so much monetary policy, because monetary policy plays a very important roles. We also have financial inclusion problems. We also have lack of human enhancement programs. And many people, they have wrong perception about Islamic finance. They only see Islamic finance only for Muslim. Actually, Islamic finance not only for Muslims. This is for the whole world, not the whole world. So, what we should do? promoting equity-based financing, enhancing financial inclusion, promoting the what? Zakat and the awqaf, harmonizing legal, regulatory framework and monetary policies. Because this is very, as we mentioned, what the monetary policy, if we cannot harmonizing the monetary policy and the others, is very tough for us to actually what properly to develop the Islamic finance. We also have to conducting what a periodic assessment of the industry, Islamic finance industry, and its impact on the society at large. And finally, we also have to correct the what misperception of Islamic finance. Islamic finance is not only for Muslim, but it's also for non-Muslim too. Okay, non-Muslim too. So with this one, I would like to end my presenting on the development about Islamic finance, some statistics. So before that, I would like to remember this one. This is from Quran ayat. Okay, I think all the students know where this comes from. To teach among you, we have prescribed a law and a clear way. If Allah will, He would have made you one nation, but that He may test you in what He has given you. So strives us in a race in good deeds. The return of you is to Allah. Then He will inform you about that in which you used to differ. So how we develop Islamic finance, how we meet the demand of the market for Muslim Sharia requirement, to what extent we understand, to what extent we apply it correctly, how to guide our ummah in the right way is up to us, and of course, up to you, our Muslim young scholars, young leaders, young students. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much, Dr. Turkan Ali, for enlightening and details presentations. I'm enjoying your presentation, Doctor, by the way, since the beginning. And you clearly describe and explain to us about the current development of all instruments in Islamic finance, since Islamic banking, sukuk, also takaful, yeah, and also some other issues that need to be tackled by us as a young generations. Okay, dear sisters and brothers, we have around 30 minutes for Q&A sessions, or maybe you have response, feedbacks, you want to share your humble experience with Dr. Turkans, are most welcome. Any questions, you can just raise hand or you can just write in the chat box, please. Dr. Turkan, we have one chat box here from Brother Halimi Hussain, master student from Medina. He questions about the issue of fintech, Doctor. How the future of the Islamic banks with the growing of the Islamic fintechs. So it means that the disruptions from the fintech industry to the Islamic bank. What do you think, Doctor, regarding with this important issues? Please, Dr. Turkan.
Okay. First of all, thanks for the question. I think what the fintech actually not issue for us. Okay, given the high fast developments of technology in terms of about the digital kind of thing, fintech is actually the must. Okay, must, because what we have to bear in mind, whether Islamic finance or Islamic banking, we have to serve our customer. Okay, we have to reach to our customer in the most efficient, most effective way to serve the to solve the problems. Actually, fintech actually help us to reduce the cost, reduce the timing, increase the efficiency in serving our customers. Of course, giving the accessibility of the technology to everyone in this society, if not all, if a majority of the so, utilizing the fintech is not actually what something wrong. Actually, what it will help us to outreach the Islamic banking to as much to the customer as much as possible. Okay, as much as possible. Because what when we're talking about serving the customer, we are not only talking of efficiency. We are not only talking of what this cost. Sometimes the feeling, a perception of the customer to the our service sometimes very important. Okay, we also have to acknowledge that if all the bank they only use the technology without the human element inside, then you make the what the feeling of the perception of the service maybe not to that standard, okay, to that level. That's why see what by using fintech we have to not only increase the efficiency, we also have to make sure the human feeling of the customer to our bank or to our products, okay, to our products. So proper use of fintechs is important. And of course, I think most of you have this kind of feeling that what when your internet or your computer have problem, you want to call the service center. What do you see? Okay, when you call, this okay, please press 1, press 2, press 3, and finally find what? No any human talking to you. Sometimes you really what? Frustrated. This means what? We become slave of the technology rather than master of the technology. You get the feeling of you. So which is better? Become a master of the technology or slave of the technology? Of course, all of us want to become master of the what? Technology rather than slave. So how to use the fintech properly, smartly to increase the good feeling, good perception of the customer is very important in promoting the Islamic finance products and service. Do not go to trap everything technology without human elements. No, we still need human feeling, human what this sensitiveness in terms of technology. Is that okay?
So it means, Doctor, in the midst of current fintech developments, do you think that the banking competitiveness remains at the level and at which the competition can be in place with the current development of fintech, Doctor? I mean that the disruption of the current banking sectors will not happen, or do you think that it will happen gradually?
No, yes, the fintech, of course, what we mix banking operation, banking what is working. Of course, they're going to change a lot. Okay, they're going to change a lot. For example, maybe what we do not need a lot of branches. Maybe we do not need what so many staffs as before. Okay, maybe the banking experience going to change. Okay, banking experience change. Of course, many banks they are talking about by this way we can cut the cost, increase the efficiency. But this is not all for the banking, right? The customer experience with the bank sometimes what very important. If one bank can using this technology can reduce the cost, increase the efficiency, it means all the bank can do this one. Am I right? As I mentioned, okay. Of course, this is what it going to be dramatic change of the banking industry. But in the last, okay, how do you use this? How do you use this technology to increase the customer experience? A good experience about your banking service and product is a key for you to survive, to sustain your what? Sustain your customer, to attract more customer.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. I got your point, Doctor. So you mean that the existing banking activities must be able to integrate the current development of the technological forms or platform, so that in the midst of fintech right now, the banking sector's operation remains competitive and be able to meet the customer need. Isn't it, Doctor? That you mean?
Yes. It means what we are not. We have to feel the feeling of the customer. Let them have good experience to dealing with the bank. not by machine. Like what you are, let's say not feeling was you are just dealing with the machine. You see, all of us, we know that we have experience. Whenever you dealing with the machine, we are never satisfied. Am I right? Because human, we need a human interaction.
Okay, doctor. Okay, any other question from you participants to the Dr. Turkan, please? Okay, meanwhile waiting for your questions, Doctor, I have one question with you regarding the Islamic social finance, Doctor.
Yes.
Right now, Indonesia, by the way, last week or last time, we issued Wakaf link suku. Maybe you have heard before.
Yeah.
And also, Indonesian government issued cash wakaf also, and also we have a special focus on developing Islamic social finance because the potential that we have so huge, but still in idle positions. So, in your observation in the global context, Doctor, how the current policies goes to the Islamic social finance development, particularly from the IDB perspective, Doctor, please.
Okay, I think your question is very relevant because of the, let me just give you something about Islamic banking. Okay, Islamic banking industry developed so fast as we just mentioned, but if not all person, okay, but many of the persons still feel Islamic banking are not really care about another society. For example, the poor, in terms of poverty, currency, what the Islamic bank, they are not really, we cannot say they are not king, but what? Because Islamic bank, they are still their business. So that they have to talk about the business, okay, big business, because they have to respond for the shareholders. Of course, from year to year, maybe they use certain zakat, whatever, to sponsor some of the poor community of the society, but this is not enough. And social finance, using the wakaf, zakat, actually they can what? They can outreach more poor person, which is what? In urgent need of the poverty abolition, or maybe what? To meet the daily needs. Okay, so social finance using wakaf, zakat, sadaqah actually is what? One of the most efficient and what direct way to overcome such kind of problems. That's why actually IDB for the past few years actually we are also very keen to develop social finance, okay, Islamic social finance, to taking care of the poor community of the society, because in terms of the globally, okay, the most poor, the highest number of poor society actually in our member countries. The Muslim society in certain area is actually they are really in the very difficult situation. If you are still depend on the Islamic banking, the issue may not be able to solve in very short time, or maybe in near futures. Islamic, our Islamic teaching already teaches waqaf, zakat, sadaqah is one way to relieve this pain from this poor. Why we should ignore those components? And the waqaf and the zakat actually they have very huge amount of resource to be allocated, mobilized. So how to efficiently, effectively mobilize this society to serve this poor sector of a community is very important. For example, okay, waqaf in GCC, Saudi, in Indonesia, in Malaysia, there are many waqaf actually underutilized, actually maybe some of them actually just forgotten or ignored, which is very helpful in developing the society. Zakat, actually in every country we are collecting a lot of zakat every year and they are donating, but due to misallocation, misuse or abuse kind of thing, or due to non-transparency, so making this zakat not really helping the needy. Okay, Alhamdulillah, due to what blockchain technology, or what we call online technology. So now certain countries, with the help of Islamic Development Bank, they have developing a kind of blockchain model of zakat, blockchain of waqaf, so that what want to improve the efficient use or mobilization of the waqaf and zakat resources to serve to the society. I think the initiative taken by what Indonesia, I think, is very timely, and I think what very needed. So developing the social Islamic social finance is not only necessary, it's a must to tackle the our poor society in poor segment of society.
Okay,
Yes.
doctor. I got remember when we had discussion with our professors last week, doctor, from EJFA.
Yeah.
This discussion focused on the discussion on the Islamic just monetary system written by Umar Chapra. One of the issue raised at the moment was some of the participants is pessimistic by the growing of current Islamic finance, because they perceive that the Islamic finance right now more focused on commercial basis. They almost forgotten about the essential of the Islamic finance, whereby they have to care and give special focus on that you said just now about the needy, poor, unemployment, that may be very difficult because the basis of commercial basis. Yes. So the pronounce of the social finance, hopefully it will tackle the issue that Islamic banking finance cannot tackle because the commercial that they have. So yes, that they believe by promoting Islamic social finance, the social issue that we have until today, maybe it will be easily solved, because the essential basis is how to generate the social aspect, not the commercial aspect. This is the issue that
I think they are correct. Okay, they are correct, because as I just mentioned, was the Islamic banking sector, they are not very keen to tackle this kind of issues. But we already have the Islamic way, so Islamic financials, waqaf, zakat. Why not we use it? And of course, zakat and waqaf, they can help greatly to solve these issues. But how to use it, how to efficiently mobilize the resources based on the needs is very important. So the governance, the government framework is very important, because no, otherwise here we Islam here for more than 1,000 years, but still majority of poor still in the Islamic countries. It means the mismanagement, abuse of this kind of resource actually happening from time to time. So that's why relevant framework, legal framework is very important. Governance is very important to tackle the issues. Without proper framework, proper mobilization, proper development, the poor still have to be poor in our Muslim countries. I'm sorry for this, because the will of the government is very important. Okay, as you know, brothers, I am from China, right? In China, we don't practice Islamic finance. We don't practice Islamic social finance by name. Okay, we don't have this one. But for the past how many years? 8 years or 6 years, we have more than what we call 700, 800 million people out of poverty. Okay, out of poverty. When you're talking about poverty from this poverty line is different with the World Bank's poverty line, because World Bank's poverty line if one person earning less than 1.25 US dollar per day, they consider is a poverty. Am I right? But in China, it's different definition. You see, in China, see what? One person, if you earn $1.25 per day, in addition, what? China see you must have place to stay. It means what? You must have shelter. You are free from hungry. You are free from what? You should not worry about your water. So after this, okay, first you must have a house. Second, you are having the clothes. Third, you have the food. Then you must earn at least $1.25 per day. We consider you are not poverty. This is different with the World Bank's World Bank what definition. World Bank is what? As long as you have 1.25 above, you are no more poverty. But in China, no. Only after you have enough food, house to stay, you have enough clothes, then you earn $1.25. You consider it's not poverty. Why it can? Because the government really put a huge amount of capital money to do this one. So in our Muslim countries, our Muslim country government also have to mix a strong will to elevate the poverty by properly, effectively, efficiently mobilize the Islamic social finance resources. We call it wakaf and zakat.
Okay, doctor. Okay, doctor, we have two participants here raising the hand, doctor.
Okay.
And I will asking you questions.
Okay,
please. Sisters and brothers, please start your, turn on your microphone, mention your name, your institutions, and your questions to Dr. Turkan. Please, sisters, brothers.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Turkan.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Fatin Hanani. I'm from University of Science Islam Malaysia. As you know, there are different acceptations or agreements of fatwas concerning the approval of certain products in the banking sectors. There are still some unresolved issues in fiqh muamalah for certain sharia products. For example, before this, there are a lot of issues on buy-in contract that has been used in Malaysia. So in your opinion, what should each of the country do to step up the efforts to make the banking products use the Sharia contracts that can be accepted and approved globally, as it will certainly have very positive benefits in promoting and facilitating Sharia product developments and innovations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fatin. Doctor, we have one other question here. Please, Brother Jaja.
Assalamualaikum, Pak.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Jaja Haryono from Yai Bunga Bangsa Cirebon. In the future, will fintech development take up a large portion than commercial banks? Because just now commercial banks are starting to launch mobile banking product and etc. What's your opinion about it, sir? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, doctor,
thank you
please.
for the question. So let me start with Sister Fatin Hanani. I think your question is very relevant because, as I mentioned in my presenting just now, what GCC and Malaysia, they have some difference in terms of interpretation and the practice of certain practices. For example, in GCC we are more on tawaruh, but in Malaysia sometimes they also use the inna. Okay, by inna. Okay, so whether these two is this due to what the difference in terms of interpretation and practice. Not everyone, even in Malaysia, they agree on the buy-in, and not everyone in GCC is the agree on commodity tawaruh, but they still practicing in reality. Okay, reality. Yeah, in fact, last week we had a very hot discussion on this topic in here with some of my colleagues about this one. So finally, we have to go to the point that we have to agree on our disagree, because this issue is really tough to solve at current moment. Okay, at the moment, to be frank to you, because as you know, myself and the guys who are actually discussing with me, we are not Sharia expert. So because those products actually when we having this one in Malaysia, all of us are very sure that this was proposed by our Sharia experts as a committee or group. Of course, in GCC is the same. And maybe when they come up with this idea, they have other conditions attached, which may not be in practice, in reality, by the practitioner. Okay, practitioner. So given that one, it's very tough for me to see they are wrong, because no, I'm not Sharia. I have to mention to you, I'm not a Sharia expert. Okay, I'm only a student of Islamic finance and Islamic economics kind of thing, but I'm not Sharia expert. I cannot say anything whether they are right or correct. But we have to be very concerned. Here's two things, okay? Whenever the transaction taking place, if the real asset is involved or not involved, this is very important. Second, we also have to make sure this one, whether this transaction actually improves the efficiency or not improve the efficiency. Okay. Number three, whether the transaction increase the value or not increase the value. Number four, whether the transaction actually benefit both the parties or not, or one party lose, another party win. So that's very important. Okay, very important. So if we cannot fulfill these conditions, we cannot see they are Sharia compliant. We cannot see the Sharia compliant. Okay, but luckily, we have the standard of IOF, the standardization body of Islamic products and service. That's why, given this disagreement or different opinion about this in Tawarruk, in GCC and Malaysia or Indonesia, we have the IOF. They are trying to come out a unified standards to guide our member countries in developing the Islamic finance products or a service. Okay, so inshallah, with the effort of IOF and with the good intention of our society, with the hard work of our Sharia expert, inshallah, we may come to one point where the products and service could be accepted universally, not only by the Muslim society, but also Muslim countries, but also maybe Muslim society in the non-Muslim countries. But when it could be, I don't know, to be frank, because I cannot see anything on this. I don't know. But for the time being, for the sake of the Muslim needs, we have to follow the Sharia expert, agree on those which we don't agree. We agree on something, we are not. We agree on some of the disagree. I'm sure with the time go, those issues could be solved. And of course, many of the products developed by a human being by interpreting the Quran ayat and by following Sunnah. As human being, we may may not be able to, we don't have to that level to properly, to correctly interpret some of the saying, maybe for the time being. Maybe when some time goes, we are able to interpret it correctly and do the thing correctly, maybe in the future, but not now. So because this is very Sharia perspective question, so I'm very humble to see I'm not in the position to say it right or wrong, but I only can give my views as above. Thank you very much. I hope Sister Fatin Hanani, you got what I see.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Very clear.
Yeah.
Okay. The second question, Doctor.
Yes.
From
Let me
Jaja.
go to.
Yeah,
let
from
me go,
Jaja just now.
yeah, yes. I'm coming to because let me finish one by one. So let me now respond to Brother Jaja Haryono. Thank you very much for this question. Actually, brother, okay, the fintech not contradict to the commercial banks. They are complementary. They are not what? Supplementary. We call it. Actually, fintech actually what? They should be used by the commercial bank to reduce the cost, increase the efficiency, and serve the customer. Actually, commercial banks are very keen to use the what? Fintech to get the benefit. For example, mobile banking products, actually another way also is what? Actually one way for them to reach the customer in more efficient ways. There's no any contradict between these two. I don't know why you see with the fintech development take up a large portion than the commercial banks. Actually, commercial banks actually they are using this fintech to improve the efficiency, cutting the cost. Brother Jajat, I don't know. Maybe I wrongly taking up your question or whatever. Is not really clear for me your question. You see why they are for me they are supplementary what we call complementary, not supplementary. Is one is not substitute another. They actually what helping each other to develop better.
Yeah, Jaja, can you respond, or what do you mean? What your questions? Okay, Doctor. I think we almost end of the session, Doctor. And in Jakarta here, almost azan duhur, Doctor, right now.
Oh yes, now
it's
here
been
is
12
o'clock in the morning.
Yes, 12. Yeah, it's 12 p.m. now. Dr. Turkan, before we end the sessions, because we are now attended by young leaders and young students, so could you please just share with us, Doctor, what is the potential programs from the IDB that can be in collaboration with the students? Perhaps you have internship programs, you have the research programs, whatever, Doctor. Maybe our participant here in the future can approach the IDB or collaborate with IDB. And the next one, Doctor, could you please just share your humble advice, suggestions to us, so that our participant here can be more prepared, more prospects, and more well designed in terms of career and other, Doctor. Please,
Okay.
Doctor, please. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, IDB. Okay, we also have a internship. Okay, for the student who actually to have some practice 3 to 6 months before they graduate from the university. But unfortunately, what for the foreign student, this program is a little bit unfriendly because what? Normally they accept students who have iqama, you have residential permit in Saudi Arabia. So you can have 3 to 6 months of what we call a training in the bank. But of course, from time to time, the IDB, they announce different activity in different areas. But this is not a fixed one, so it's very difficult to see. Another one is actually IDB and ISDBI. We are no more RT, yeah, Dr. Dimas? There is no more RT.
Oh.
Yes. The RT now become ISDBI, Islamic Development Bank Institute, sorry. So no more RT. So actually we have a few kind of what programs here. For example, if you go to the IDB website, you can see the announce. For example, if someone who can develop new products, new new technology kind of things, actually you can apply for the award. You can attend the competition, because every year we have a Islamic finance product, Islamic fintech, Islamic AI. We also have a women's contribution to the Islamic society. This kind of program we have. And I remember recently some Indonesian brothers, sisters, they win the award for some of the competition from the IRTI, we call it ISDBI. I think they have developed a smart wakaf or zakat kind of system. So I think IDB gives them around 50 or 30,000 USD, something like this, for them to further develop the products. And also Malaysian, Turkish, I think about 20 or what 10 recipient for this award. Okay, again we announced for next year. Every year we have these programs. So if the student, young scholars, you have good ideas, you have good products, you want to promote, you can come out with proposal, you can come out with description and submit to the invitation for competition. And of course, we also have what young entrepreneur programs. So in this case, what you come out with your idea, you come out with a product, and you also submit. If the committee of the IDB define these ideas, the products is what really could be commercialized, they fund you until you success. Okay, until you success. This is another program. And last program is what? For someone who want to seek career in the IDB, we have so-called the young professional programs. We call YPP. YPP is what? Actually, for those people who are less than 32 years old, who want to join IDB, they can apply through that program we call YPP, Young Professional Programs. And if you successful in this program, so IDB give you 2 years to work in IDB, different department, from risk, from product, from service, from research, from maybe from the leadership. They give you, of course, fully paid for 2 years. Then after 2 years, it's up to you whether you stay in IDB or you want to go back to your own country to serve your ummah. So this one we call YPP. Okay, YPP. I think you should young scholars, young leaders, young students, you should always take care about this YPP program, IDB. I think this is a very good one. What we call a very good opportunity, because during these 2 years, you meet different people, you may visit different countries, and you'll be taught by different scholars from all over the world, expert. Really tough training. This is a really, really good training. And normally those guys who graduate from this program, they really become what? Very good leaders and good Islamic practitioner in banking or practitioner. I like the program. But when I joined IDB, I'm already more than 40, so I'm not able to do that one. But it's a really good program. Finally, okay, brothers and sisters, since you are already in this line, I'm sure something in your bottom of your heart, you want to serve your ummah, serve your country, serve maybe your society, or very small, maybe serve your community, or maybe what, serve your family. This is what you in your mind. Okay, in your mind. But remember, okay, remember, the good intention always guide good behavior. If your intention not wrong, is not correct, it's difficult to guide your behavior. Okay, so we must have a big heart with step by step action to fulfill our ambitions. Okay, ambitious. So remember, okay, money is what? Side product of your good activities. Anytime, don't put monetary incentive in the first place. Put your society, your nation, your community in the first place, inshallah. Okay? Whenever you do this one in the right, all the reward come naturally, inshallah. When your heart is full with this kind of thing, what? You feel money becomes something different. Monetary incentive becomes something different. So let me see, for example, so many of these great scholars or great scientists, great leaders. Normally, they didn't start with by making how much money. They start with how to serve the nation, how to make the society better. Then, whenever they success by this way, they success in other ways. If you just want to monetary success, I'm sure your route not going to be too long. Your career not going to be too long. Okay? Inshallah, I'm sure you are going to kind heart, a big heart for the society, inshallah. With the will of Allah, inshallah. I wish all of you success in your study, in your work, in your family, and stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Barakat always come with you. Inshallah. And I also would like to take this opportunity again, thanks Dr. Dimas for inviting me to be with our beloved student here. I really enjoy these 2 hours. I thought maybe I can only stay for half hour, but then I found it's almost 2 hours. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Thank you very much, my dear guru, friends, colleagues, Dr. Turkan Ali Abdul Manap, who has spent 2 hours time with us, sharing his humble knowledge and experience in Islamic finance, and also give us very deep motivations to be honest and well-prepared, designed to be future and prospective scholars in many areas. Dr. Turkan, on the behalf of the International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance, Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta, and the Committee of the International Training for Young Islamic Economic Leaders, again, thank you very much for your times. And we do believe that your humble efforts like now is the investment to us how to generate more knowledgeable, more literated future leaders in Islamic banking and finance. May Allah reward your humble efforts so that our future generations can further promote our spirit in Islamic economics and finance. Dr. Turkan, with that, let me thanks and end the sessions by reciting Hamdalah together. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Stay safe and healthy, Dr. Turkan, and keep in touch with us. Inshallah, we meet again in Jeddah or in Jakarta, hopefully one day.
Inshallah, inshallah. I hope all of you safe, and please come to visit Makkah, Medina, because we are just beside here, inshallah.
Amin.
In all my prayer, inshallah, I wish I make dua for all of you.
Amin.
Hope to see you in Makkah or Medina. This what the holiest area in this world, inshallah.
Amin. Inshallah.
Okay. And if any mistake I did, inshallah, please forgive me for any shortcoming, because we are human beings, we make mistake from time to time. But I have good intention for all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very good afternoon and see you again, inshallah. Dr. Turkan, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.